Hello, Paulo Leite here, record collector. Some time ago, I posted a video about 5 jazz albums I think you should know. And turns out, that video was incredibly popular. I'll put the link right here so you can check that out. And today I want to bring you something slightly different. I want to talk about 5 albums of Brazilian music entirely made by Gringos. And what do I mean by Gringos? Well, non-Brazilians. As I was thinking about albums for this video, I wanted to run away from, the obvious choices with Brazilian musicians. The usual titles everybody knows, like the Frank Sinatra Tom Jobim album or the Stan Getz João Gilberto album. These are beautiful albums. They are absolute classics and everybody should know them. But precisely because everybody knows them, I don't think that I can add anything about them. So I wanted to bring you 5 albums that are lesser known that you should know. Starting with Bosanova pelos Pássaros by Charlie Byrd from 1962. This is an exquisite album and certainly one of the best I have in my collection. It's beautiful. It's funny that it has here on the cover Charlie Byrd, an amplified guitar, which is an interesting way to put it. Also, Keter Betts on the bass and Bill Reichenbach on drums and Latin percussion. But there's also a beautiful string quartet playing in the background that adds a completely new layer to these songs. And what a great number of songs. The CD contains something like 18 tracks, although the original album only had 12. There are 6 here that are bonus tracks, and they're beautiful. There are a great number of songs here composed by some of the best composers in Brazilian music ever. Antônio Carlos Jobim, Vinícius de Moraes, Carlos Lira, Baden-Powell, and so many others. You can get here classics like Meditação, O Barquinho, Desafinado, also Samba Triste. This is one of the saddest versions of Samba Triste I ever heard, and it's absolutely beautiful. Everybody should know this album. It's absolutely gorgeous, so it's a great buy. On the bonus tracks, we get a beautiful version of Insensatez. The English version is How Insensitive. That's absolutely beautiful. Next, I have for you Bosanova Concert by Sadao Watanabe, released in 1967. This was recorded in Tokyo live on July 4th, 1967. And I usually don't like live albums because there's always a lot of noise from the audience. But here it is incredible. The Japanese audience is incredibly polite. And they only clap for something like 5 or 6 seconds after each song, and then it all quiets down. It's amazing. Clearly, this was not recorded in Brazil. And it's funny that people think that, excluding Brazilians, Americans do the best bossa nova. No, it's not true. It's the Japanese who do the best bossa nova. During the 60s and the 70s, they recorded a stunning number of great albums of bossa nova. Some of them are even better, much better than a lot of the stuff that Brazilians were producing at the time. So there you go. This album also contains a great number of songs that today are considered Brazilian standards. Songs like Corcovado, Mais Que Nada, Reza, Água de Beber, Bonita, Song of the Jet. These are beautiful songs that it's going to be amazing to rediscover them on this album. There's also a number of great musicians here. We have Sadao Watanabe and his group, plus string orchestra. Sadao Watanabe plays alto sax and the flute. Then we have Masabumi Kukishi on the piano. We have Masahiko Togashi on the drums. Masanaga Harada on the bass. And I assure you, even though these are all Brazilian names, none of these are Brazilians. This is a great Japanese edition that was released by Denon Toshiba. And although it sounds absolutely beautiful, it's fun to read the spelling errors that they put on the Portuguese names of these songs. It's always fun to read these. But still, a stunning album in every way. Great buy. Next, I have for you Bossa Antigua by Paul Desmond from 1965. People usually know Paul Desmond for his work with Dave Brubeck. However, he was an incredible musician and he has a number of records that he released by himself. And I have many of those. And on this one, he records with Jim Hall on guitar. Jim Hall, who also played several great albums, and including a few albums with Bill Evans. And here, it's interesting because contrary to what the other ones that I showed you, on here you don't have practically no Brazilian composition here. Most of these songs are composed by Americans. There is only, I think, one song here that is actually composed by a Brazilian. The other ones are usual American standards, and some also compositions by Paul Desmond himself. And go figure, still great bossa nova to me. Next, I have for you Samodumar by Duško Gojković, released in 2003. Now, Duško Gojković is a Bosnian composer and musician and he is amazing. He plays here the trumpet and the flugelhorn, and the album contains a small number of beautiful Brazilian compositions by Antônio Carlos Jobim and also Heitor Villa-Lobos, including a beautiful version of Baquianas Brasileiras No. 5, a stunning composition. And also he has a great number of musicians here, starting with Ferenc Snettberger, a Hungarian, on guitar, Martin Giakonovski, a Macedonian, on the bass, and Jarod Kagwin on the drums. And despite the names, I assure you, none of them is Brazilian. Also, some compositions here by Duško Gojković himself, and also an Argentinian composer named Sergio Mihanovic. And I'm sure this is going to piss off many Brazilians. But still, beautiful music and beautiful bossa nova. Next, and last but not least, Manhã de Carnaval, Guitar Music from Brazil by Graham Anthony Devine. This was released in 2004 by Naxos. Now, Naxos has in its catalog a great number of CDs dedicated to guitar music, and many of those are dedicated to Brazilian music, and this is one of the best. It contains a number of songs from some of the best composers in Brazilian music ever, like Antônio Carlos Jobim, Egberto Gismonti, Heitor Villa-Lobos, João Pernambuco, Luís Bonfá, and many others. And this is a beautiful, stunning album. Everybody should know this one. This was recorded in Canada and produced by Norbert Kraft. Norbert Kraft is another great guitar player who also has a number of CDs released by Naxos, dedicated also to guitar solo, including this one, 19th Century Guitar Favorites. That's also a beautiful album. So this is a great buy. And here we go. Bossa Nova pelos Pássaros, Charlie Bird, 1962. Bossa Nova Concert, Sadao Watanabe, 1967. Bossa Antigua, Paul Desmond, 1965. Samodumar, Duško Gojković, 2003. Manhã de Carnaval, Guitar Music from Brazil by Graham Anthony Devine, 2004. And please remember, visit record shops, buy records. Music is life. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. There's more great content coming soon. Thank you.